Hi, my name is Erica Clark. I am a licensed clinical psychologist with a private practice in Tampa, and I've been speaking with you about this idea of languishing, something that a lot of us, have been experiencing over the course of the last 18 months or so. These strategies that I'm sharing, however, aren't limited to languishing. If you're not experiencing that, these strategies that I'm sharing come actually from positive psychology, and it's a way to enhance well-being, which is something all of us can benefit from. So the next strategy, we talked about two other pillars already. There are five pillars total. Two other pillars, one being positive emotion, the second one being engagement, and then today we're going to talk about relationships. So obviously, relationships are one of the most impacted aspects of COVID in terms of some isolation that has come along with it, and some divides even that have come based on people's approach to COVID, political differences, things like that. And those divides have made a significant impact on a lot of relationships. And then even just the idea of being more isolated or having to quarantine, those things have significantly impacted relationships. However, we know one of the most important aspects of well-being and one of the biggest ways to boost mood is to connect with others. So if we can find a way to focus some energy on building positive relationships or even engaging in the relationships that we have in a more intentional way, it can go a really long way to improving well-being. And there's a difference here between solitude and isolation that's important. So solitude is something where maybe I choose after a busy week to wind down and have some downtime on my own, or maybe with my spouse. But isolation is different. And that's what a lot of people have experienced in the last 18 months is having to isolate, not going into a workplace or having the workplace look totally different than it has. So this idea of isolation is in contrast with solitude because it's not necessarily a choice. It's something you have to do, and it feels less enjoyable than something like solitude. So solitude's important. So when you need downtime, you need alone time, great. But being able to connect with others is one of the most reliable ways to improve your mood. So I would encourage you all to find ways to connect with others in the healthier relationships that you have. Again, engaging in negative relationships or unhealthy relationships isn't going to go a long way in improving mood, but finding the friend who always helps you feel filled up, finding the person who always makes you feel inspired, and trying to find time to engage with them. At the very least, we know one of the best ways to immediately increase well-being that has to do with relationships and community is acts of kindness. So at the very least, put it on your to-do list to do one act of kindness a day. That could be something out and about in your community, as simple as holding the door for someone at the grocery store, but it could be something like reaching out to a friend or a family member who you haven't talked to in a while, or even someone you have talked to recently, but maybe sharing something that is meaningful about your relationship with them, almost as kind of a thank you or a gratitude. But this idea of being instrumental and intentional about passing kindness on to others is a big way to boost mood that has to do with relationships. So using that as kind of a starting point, and then also recognizing where in your day to day you can strengthen relationships, increase quality time, um, maybe by doing things a little bit more novel, finding time for some quality time with kids, family members, friends that feels safe, but that feels like something that might fill you up.